during COVID was probably the worst for me. Like, people would come up and tell me, like, you're the reason why we have COVID here, and that was pretty bad. Like, it made me feel, like, really shit about myself. It's like, I can't help it, can I? And, I mean, we have this experience all the time where people come out to us and say ni hao or konnichiwa for some reason.
We've experienced this together. But I think it's important to, like, kind of contextualize it, because we are from Hong Kong, where it's, like, a very, like, homogenous, like, one race. Like, we would barely see anyone that isn't East Asian.
True.
So, obviously, there's a lot of things that are racist that we wouldn't clock at first. And I think, so, like, experiences, like, I don't know, like, during COVID, to continue on your point, like, being put at the back of the restaurant instead of the front because people didn't want, like, them to see that there was Asians in the restaurant and stuff like that. But it has definitely gotten better. But, like, microaggressions and, like, ni haos and, like, oh, you listen to BTS, shit like that. Like, I think it would be, like, I didn't think it was real because I was so sheltered in Hong Kong where, like, racism didn't really touch me. But coming to the UK was a little, like, I didn't think it would happen to me, but it will happen to you.
I mean, at the same time, though, like, I kind of just take it as a joke at this rate, and I just kind of play along with it. And I kind of, like, I just kind of just play along with it, to be very honest. And, you know, even, like, as an Asian, sometimes I just make fun, like, friendly fire, make fun of my own race at times. But, of course, when it comes from, like, people of a different race, it comes off as a bit different. Yeah. But I definitely take, like, microaggression differently to you sometimes.
Yeah.
But...
So you don't think it was, like, the hardest thing you had to endure?
I think it's something that you're going to have to be aware of. But I feel like because there has been such an increase of Asians, especially if you live in London, right?
Yeah. When
you live, like, outskirts. So I studied in the Midlands area for a very long time, and that's where you feel it the most. Yeah. Like, there was a friend of mine, his sister got barked at on the street.
Yeah.
Like, that shit, like, especially in the Midlands area, is a lot more prominent.
Yeah.
But when you're in London, I think it's slightly better just because you're surrounded by people, all of different races at the same time.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a difference in the area that you're in. I think the craziest experiences that I've had, I don't think it's the most difficult thing because I think, like, it's not necessarily on the forefront of my mind. Just, like, as you said, like, you kind of learn to, like, adapt to it. But at first it's kind of definitely a shock. The worst I've experienced was, like, physical things. So, like, getting spat on, getting kicked. So I think I got kicked in Oxford. And I got spat on in Whitechapel twice. And it's like, I think... It's, like, definitely, because I don't, like, it's about, like, your mentality, right? Like, how you, like, let it, like, consume you and whatnot. But it's definitely a very different and difficult experience to have. And you don't really know how to respond to it at first. So do you have any advice on how to respond to racism to that extent?
I think it so depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Like, if you're the type to, like, especially because we're, like, also, 5 foot, we're, like, 5 foot and we're girls, right? Like, it's so difficult to, like, stand up for yourself at times. Because if you start a fight, like,
you gotta pick and choose, like, especially for, like, small Asian girls, like, it's like we kind of have the, like, privilege of feeling safe back home, but, like, you could not fight a white man, like, in this country. So you have to pick and choose your battles for sure.
It's not great, but, and on that note, like, when you walk down the streets at night of London, like, it's so different from back home in Hong Kong. Like, I would go home at night and I'd feel completely safe, like, but here, like, best believe, I'm worried, like, or I'll even try to, like, call friends, like, on my way back home.
Definitely call your friends.
Yeah.
I think, and it's, like, people will try to say, like, it's a London issue, but it's really not. Like, even when I was in Oxford, I studied briefly in Oxford, like, I did not feel as safe as with in Hong Kong. But, like, I do feel like there's an extent of it, which I can't deny, is, like, us just being in a foreign environment. Yeah. So it just makes it a bit more scary. But
I also feel like, though, because, like, you know the places where in Hong Kong you don't feel safe. Like, let's say you're going to, like, LKF, and you're walking past pubs. But
like
the thing is,
it's
it's such a big like culture here drinking to the point where you're worried you're gonna bump into like a drunk person and like especially like it reaches far past microaggression at that point when you're meeting someone that's like fully drunk or like on drugs and that can get quite scary, and because there's such a massive drinking culture especially during the weekends, it just feels quite unsafe.
And like you definitely like I've had experiences, I'm sure you've had as well, like people just like following you.
Yeah.
So I think to come back to it, like a good response, I think our audience, our primary audience at least that we're trying to like get to will be like little Asian girlies like us, or maybe boys, I don't know. but like if you're not like experienced in this type of environment, I'd say like as much as it's like an instinct to stick up for yourself, I think pick and choose your battles. Sometimes like not speaking or like just asking them very nicely like can you please leave me alone goes a long way. And like for microaggressions, I think it's a very different thing. I think, well, do you have anything else to add for like how to respond to it?
Not really. Like it is a difficult scenario to be in, but at the same time it's so like the sad fact is there's not a lot you can do, and it because
phone
it's just phone a friend, you know.
If it's getting a bit too scary, like yesterday, me and my friend Audrey, we got konnichiwa, and my Audrey was just like, can you just please leave us alone?
Yeah,
you're making me very uncomfortable. And I think for the most part you can like that will do, but like for the really dangerous people, just run.
Maybe not run, but like
go to someone, say go to another girly, like go indoors. Like I was followed someplace, but I like near my house, and I just walked to Sainsbury's until like they left.
Yeah, ask for Angela.
Yeah, ask for Angela if you're at a bar.
But it's a real thing, and also like I'm not gonna lie, in the UK like Asians are quite fetishized as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you have that kind of worry as well, in my opinion, especially like an environment in the UK. Like I didn't hear this a lot back home, but spiking is a thing here.
Yeah.
So honestly, like as a girl, as a woman,
not just even an Asian woman,
just as a woman in general, like you have to be a lot more alert and aware, and especially in big cities. Like no matter if you're in London, if you're in like Manchester or whatnot, like.
And it comes back to the debate though, I think, of like victim blaming, like to what extent am I gonna like limit my life because of my fears of what other people are gonna do for me? And I hear it, and obviously if you're on a night out, get the drink, babes. Get the vodka cranberry. But just be careful, like make sure your drink, it doesn't look like extra fizzy when you come back and it's like been an hour.
Yeah.
If you've been away for an hour, maybe don't go for the vodka cranberry, get a new one.
No, but I was like, you know what's an important thing